Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realnesss with 3 S's. I'm your host, Francis, and back with me today is Miss Mansa. How you
That's like I never left. I can't believe I chose this week to be away and be busy.
Oh my God, this week has been madness.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's get into it.
But are you happy to be back? We definitely missed you.
Yes, no, I am happy to be back, and yeah, I think we have a good episode to dive in on, and yeah, I have a lot to say.
I have a lot to say, so let's just dive right in. So this is right after the recoupling when your friend Toby decides to jump ship from Arabella and choose Georgia Steele, who was in a couple, as we know, with Callum. So It was after that, I would say, well, we knew that it was going to happen from what we saw throughout the rest of the episode previously, but still shocking in the sense, like, he just said that he doesn't want to be with Georgia. He said that if we would have had something, we would have outside of here. He said that, like, her voice is annoying. Like, he doesn't like that woman. Why is he seeing if there's something that could be with them?
I think so. I mean, I had too much faith in him, honestly. I thought he was growing. I thought he had changed. The way that he was supporting Kaz and being such a good friend, I was like, yes, Toby, this is what I wanted to see from you. He has one conversation with Georgia where she says, "Oh, I'll have space for you in my heart forever," and he suddenly was like, "Ding!" Like, I think that they're both of them, Georgia and Toby, the ultimate pick-me's, right? Like, he just needed her to say that I care about you, and similarly, him making this grand gesture, which is not even really a gesture, he just blew up a relationship that is not just a relationship in the villa, but a friendship outside. So the fact that he did that gesture for her, it confirmed to her, okay, these are the lengths that you will go to prove that you like me. And I think that's why she kind of has issues with Callum, because Callum isn't being dramatic. Callum is just being matter of fact. And I think she thrives off of the chaos.
Being a little bit more mature and normal.
Exactly.
Like, when he wants to date someone, he's honest with them, tells them how he's actually feeling. If he's interested in cuddling her, he's being honest about it. It's not for some ulterior motive or to pretend like he liked her. And he doesn't like that. She prefers people to pretend like they like her.
Exactly. And the way that she likes to pretend that she's mature just because she has bangs now.
And it's funny, like, bangs you would think is like reverts to youth, right? Bang to me say look young to me, you know?
Absolutely. But it's the way that I don't know, there's something about the way that she carries herself, the way that she styles herself now. It's like you can tell that she feels like she's like cosplaying like adult, like I'm mature now. I'm an older girl, like I'm settled. Even the way that she was talking about Toby being 24 as if that's not 1 year younger than her, like, I don't know.
Like a few months, probably.
Exactly.
Oh, no, it'd be a full year because she's a Taurus and he's a Pisces. So it'd be a full year. But
yeah.
She ain't mature to me. Like, I did not realize how much I dislike this person. I don't know her. This is just the version of her that I see on my screen. So please don't come for me. Like, if you love Georgia Steele, go for it. But from what I've been presented on, I really do not like the person that I see. I just find that she just gaslights everybody, and then she plays victim, and it's really manipulative from what I'm seeing. And I'm not enjoying it. Like, I've been like, movie night, get her, movie. Like, I'm so like, I need her to, like, I'm like, what's going on with me? Like,
no, tonight's the night. But you know what it is, though? I think we spoke about this a few weeks ago. There's something about that brand of like white woman who's like, I'm so cute and small. Like, someone please come save me. You know, she's weaponizing her demureness, right? Her coquettishness. Like, she does that knowing that if she, makes herself the victim, everyone's gonna be like, well, how could you pick on this quiet, small girl, right? Like, even in her conversation with Molly was just spitting straight facts. And she was just like, how could you say this about me? It's like, well, you're not a girl's girl.
You're the definition of what a girl's girl is not.
Exactly.
100% not. Well, at the beginning of this episode, though, we do see Josh talking to Sophie and finally saying some nice words to her, like he actually wants to be with her. Now, do you think that he only said this because Joanna did not choose him to recouple with?
You know what? That's a good point. I think maybe that's what it is, because, prior to the recoupling, he was still telling Joanna that he was really open, and I think he was really excited to see how that was going to go. But yeah, I think that part of the reason why he suddenly had such kind words and energy towards Sophie was because Joanna chose Chris, and he didn't want to seem like he was losing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you want to be like, I made this decision. I want to be with Sophie. It's not like I didn't get picked by Joanna, and I would have preferred that.
Yeah.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you for being here. Okay, hey. Sorry. Toby's biggest fan is here right now. So let's hear what Ozza
Here we go.
Never wanted to cut Georgia off. I don't even know if I can agree with that statement already. Because, he did not want to be with Georgia.
Well, you know what? I do kind of agree, because I don't think he necessarily wanted to cut her off. He just wanted to emphasize that he's open and that he has the ability to talk to whoever he wants to talk to. But it was the way that he went about that conversation to me that I felt like lacked consideration for her feelings, and that's what made it blow up so quickly. Is because he wasn't just saying like, we're open. I want to chat to other people. He was like, we're open. Why do you have a problem with that?
I do agree, though, that he was only with Arabella because Chris pied her. And that's kind of the way that things shook out in the recoupling at that point, and they already knew each other, had history. But I do feel as though, with them doing bits and him cuddling her and kind of saying the things that she's wanted to hear from him, making her believe that there could be a potential with them outside of the villa. That's where I do have an issue with whatever was going on with him and Arabella. But I do believe their original recoupling was due to the fact that she got pied, and
absolutely. I know she got pied, and they have a little bit of history. So he thought, let me be kind to her. And then unfortunately, I think what happened was that he friends-would benefited himself into a more serious relationship.
Well, yeah, it's because I don't think that Arabella wants to be the friends with benefits girl. I do think that she wants something a little more serious, but whatever she's presenting or who she's having these situationships with are only seemingly seeing her as a friends with benefit type situation. And so I do feel bad for Arabella, because nobody really wants to feel like she's always just the side chick and never the bona fide. But unfortunately, she's choosing people that are not.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you are 33 choosing a 24-year-old.
Facts. And Georgia was only with Callum because she overrated at Toby. Overreacted at Toby being open week 1.
Yeah, I mean,
well, she appeared to me that she was interested in Callum, right?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like she was genuinely interested in Callum until Tom showed up.
Would have been with Georgia or chosen Georgia if Molly hadn't showed up. So
exactly right. I think that we can't rewrite history, but I feel like had Tom not shown up, Callum and Georgia would they would have been on the same page. Callum was going forward, saying, I want to be closed. And he felt like they were at the stage to be closed. And I think from his perspective, everything that she was giving him, that was a reasonable conclusion to make based on how she was behaving. But because Tom came in and her mind was elsewhere and she was kind of still entertaining him, that's why suddenly she feels like I'm not at the same level, even though she's acting towards Callum as if she is.
Yeah, definitely acting as if she is. And that's kind of what bothers me about Georgia, is that if you're not that interested in that man, just don't be that interested in that man and just tell him, set him free.
She wants everyone to like her. That's her problem.
Ozzy here is also saying, yet she just recoupled, just pre-recoupling. Georgia said she overreacted about the open thing when Toby pulled her to talk. Well, that was her giving the signs to Toby that she wanted him to pick her. I know she's saying that, oh, yeah, I had no idea. I didn't say anything. I promise you, Callum, that like I would never do anything like that to you.
That whole performance, I'm baffled. I'm baffled. No, you're not. How are you baffled? Like, of course, you probably didn't expect him to choose you, but you know what you did.
You know what you did. So we still see when Arabella's standing there, still like just after Georgia Steele is chosen by Toby, like Georgia Harrison gives her like the Arabella, like the you got this girl, like a support fist. It's like I would not want a support fist from Georgia Harrison.
No.
She's not the person that I'm leaning to for support, but that trio is, I guess, they're all kind of not my favorite people in the villa, which is Arabella, Georgia Steele, and Georgia Harrison. That trio, I'm like, thumbs down on that trio. Callum is talking about this after the whole recoupling, and he thinks that this shows Toby's immaturity. And I think it 100% does show immaturity. Like, regardless of, okay, so he never wanted to cut it off with Georgia Steele. Cool. Why didn't he ever say this before? So he really felt that, like, there's some unfinished business. Cool. Why wouldn't you tell the person that you're coupled up with and making out with? Okay, fine. Why don't you maybe tell the person that you might have feelings for still before the recoupling? Like, hey,
exactly.
like,
It was
there's
the
so many
timing
opportunities for him to be mature.
Exactly. It's like no one is saying that he can't shoot his shot or express his feelings or follow his heart. It's the way he goes about these things. Similarly with when him and Georgia had their first blow up, it's the way that he approached that conversation. With Arabella, she's your friend outside of the villa. You've been holding her down in the villa. You could have at least had a conversation with her in person or like before the recoupling instead of blindsiding her when she's standing up there alone and everyone's staring at her. Like, that's the worst way to hear this news.
So embarrassing and like mortifying because she thinks that she's like working towards a relationship of some sort with Toby.
I mean, why she thinks that, I don't know, but
I'm assuming though that he must be saying, like, giving her some false hope. You know what I mean? He has to be saying something to her, like, "Oh, you're amazing. I'm so happy that we rekindled rekindled our thing. Like, we have such a good thing going. Let's work towards something outside." Like, he has to be feeding her some of that at least for her to be blindsided here.
Yeah,
he was doing the whole like, I'm open. She wasn't even doing that to Arabella. Right?
Yeah, or at least not that we saw anyway.
Open stuff. Sorry?
Yeah. It's at least not that we saw anyway. We haven't seen him say any of that where he was really harping on it before.
So I think she would feel like, hey, he hasn't been saying like I'm open and I'm open to seeing who comes into the villa. So maybe that, that means that something more is going on between us. So I just feel like he had so many opportunities to just take a bit of a mature approach and be considerate with some feelings here. And so I'm 100% with Callum here with Toby's lack of emotional maturity call out. Arabella, pissed. Absolute coward, she says. Immature little twat. I'm like,
get him again.
Get him. And then just hearing him say, though, he had to do what's right. Sure. But how about do it correctly?
Exactly. Right? Exactly. And that's the thing that's like, that really bothers me about Toby is like, I get it. Like, yeah, follow your heart 100%. Like you're not in a relationship with her, but like there is a way that you can do things that doesn't disrespect people.
100%. And Callum's actually pissed. He's like, what's wrong with him?
Okay, the way that Callum is reacting to this whole situation is just making him hotter and hotter.
I'm like, check mark on Callum.
I'm just like, Team Callum, 100%.
Well, and I think it's because like guys usually just let guys get away with this kind of bullshit. And exactly. So it's just like nice to see him that he's noticing the absurdity of how he's played this whole situation. And so at least you just feel like he's not getting away with it completely, Yeah. Because like if the guys were on board with what Toby was doing, like Callum included, then Arabella might just look like she's overreacting and like she's just like, just being dramatic. But the fact that Callum, a guy, is like, it's super chill usually and kind of easygoing, is like, what's wrong with him? It's like, okay, something must be going on for him to be called out for Callum. So Arabella's in the bedrooms and she's crying, and then Georgia Steele needs to try to get Nemi here
with her crocodile tear. Not a single tear was shed. The way that she went from like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I can't believe this is
You don't think it was me?
Shut up. It's not about
you.
You
don't think I did anything, right? I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
I didn't know. I had no idea he was going to do this.
Like how she's making Arabella's fears about herself is like, and I loved Molly's face in that moment. Molly was looking at her like, Molly was not buying it.
Well, because like I feel as though Georgia Steele is competing with all, like she wants to have all the guys' attention.
But she also wants to be all their friends at the same time, which is why she's doing this whole performance of like, but you're not mad at me, right?
You're not mad at me, right? It had nothing to do with this. Like, I didn't know.
Shut up. Yes, she did.
Shut up. Shut up. I'm baffled. God. You're not mad at me, are you? Like, she's like, it had nothing to do with you, Georgia.
Exactly. It had nothing to do with you. And but also it's like the fact that you're doing this much, like you're making this all about you, the fact that Arabella's sitting there crying and you're like doing these fake crocodile tears, that to me just goes to show that you feel guilty. Because if you really didn't feel guilty, you could sit there like a real friend and be like, man, that's crazy. I didn't see this coming. And just like give her space to cry. Like, why are you already immediately making this about you unless you feel guilty?
Okay. Ozza, like you just this is very funny. Ozza says, logically thinking, the most impactful way to Georgia, which is his aim, was that grand gesture. The recouple just hits different. Callum and Arabella would kick off regardless. Sure.
You know what? You know, you're not wrong, right? Like, because had Toby sat Arabella down earlier that day and had a conversation, I'm sure she would have been upset. But I think that it would have been lessened. It would have been, the drama would have been lessened, and it wouldn't feel like the whole villa against Toby if he at least had given her the courtesy of that conversation in advance.
So like he wanted to have the whole moment. Yeah. Like so yeah, you're saying that the heat that's on him that he's taken to show Georgia how much he loves her or wants to be with her, like that is the grand gesture. It's like how nasty he is to everyone else to show that he wants to try things with you is what we're celebrating here.
Yeah, but that's so crazy because it's like, so we're celebrating the toxicity, like that's the only way that you can show someone that you care. But also, if that's what she needs for you to say basically, fuck everybody else's feelings, you're the only one for me, what is wrong with her? Because why isn't it enough for you to just have a conversation and say, I care about you and I want to see where things go?
I mean, I get it. We're making a TV show, so like we're observing this grand gesture. He made a TV moment. He got us talking. Like for TV drama, okay, great.
Yeah,
but like
they are a match made in heaven.
For this to be something that you want from somebody to show that you are interested in them, that is scary to me.
Girl, go to therapy.
That's so scary. Like, I killed everybody because I loved you so much. Like that's kind of the
that's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. It's just like, why don't you love me? Look at all the ways that I've stalked you down to prove my love for you. Like, that's what it's giving.
It's giving unhinged, like like methods of
it's giving Gypsy Rose, like, I will kill your mom. Like, how else can I show you I love you?
It's kind of like mafia too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Exactly. It's like a very, in my opinion, twisted way of looking on how you could prove to somebody that you're really that into him. And you know what also says to me that he's actually not into her if he has to make some like grand gesture of this sort to show it to her, other than his words, his actual actions and his kindness and his consideration and how he looks at you and how he talks to you and how he, makes you breakfast. Like, it can't be kind gestures. It has to be gestures that completely hurt and upset other people is what you expect from him to show his affection.
But I mean, that's clear. It's clear that that's what she's expecting because Callum is giving her that mature love, that like that honest, just like transparent communication, and she's looking at him like he's boring, and he's like, you know, she's not excited about it. She thinks it's too easy. She needs to feel like she's winning.
She's so insufferable. So Kaz, okay, people are coming for Kaz because Kaz didn't give him enough shit for what he did. But she's just like, oh, well, Toby's gonna Toby.
Like, I understand why Kaz isn't coming for Toby because as much as Toby is an idiot, he's also been the truest friend for her in the villa after Liberty, right? He's had her back. He's been transparent. He's like supported her. He's comforted her. But she's not also going around and saying like, oh, I approve of everything he's done. She's just having support for her friend and then keeping her mouth shut.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like she does say like your timing was shit.
Exactly.
You know, she does call him out without completely vilifying him. And like, I know we're coming for Toby and his actions right now, but if I was friends with Toby in the villa, I'd be like, Toby, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Right? Like, that's about the extent of it. I wouldn't stop talking to him.
Exactly. Whatever. I'd be like, you fucking idiot.
Like, you're a moron, Toby. Go and say you're sorry. Exactly. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, that's how I would be reacting to him. And he says, you know, even if Georgia rejects me, I tried. And he's going to talk to Callum. So do you think he should have talked to Callum first or Arabella first or Georgia first now after the deed is already done?
I think that, well, I mean, he should have talked to Arabella before the recoupling, but I'm glad that he spoke to Cal because I don't think it wasn't the right time for him to speak to Arabella. She needed to calm down, right? So I think he went about it the right way because if he had left it with speaking to Cal, then it would have become a bigger thing between the boys. Yeah, I think he went about it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I think is right. A lot of people are thinking that he should have gone to Arabella first, but you're right. She did need to cool off.
I mean, had he walked into that room, she would have been like, "Get out!"
She would go like throttle his throat probably.
Exactly.
Off the show. So yes, maybe give her some time.
Mm-hmm.
Give her some time. So he does call Cal over and asking him for a chat, and he says sorry to put you in a shit position. So he's saying this after the fact. And what Callum is saying, and is what we've been saying here, is he's like, well, you just didn't really consider anybody else involved. You only considered about what your grand gesture was going to do for you and Georgia and your situation. And there were at least two other people and Georgia that you really didn't consider, you know, the situations that they're in. And it's giving immature and inconsiderate.
Mm-hmm. I love how Cal was just so calm when he had that conversation as well. He wasn't like making digs at him. He was just like speaking the truth.
Yeah, I'm liking Cal for sure. But Toby just thinks, well, I put myself out there. And it's like, you're allowed to put yourself out there, but you're also allowed to have your actions not negatively affect everybody else around them, around you. It's just, this selfishness is not, it's not in a commendable way, in my opinion.
No, not at all.
So he does say to Toby that he needs to speak to Arabella. And I wrote, mad the emotions are not respected. Oh, that's what Calvin was saying. Yeah, see, like, you know, you're not respecting people's emotions and people's feelings. And he's not. And like, that's why I'm really upset with this decision that he made. Because it's just like so cruel to somebody that just, I don't like Arabella very much, but I don't think that she deserved this from Toby.
She didn't deserve it. And for Georgia.
And then next we have Callum and Georgia having a conversation.
Oh my God.
And Callum's like, well, like, clearly you guys aren't done. She's like, we are done. And he's like, but you clearly aren't. She's like, I'm confused. Well, if you're confused, that means you're not done. It's like, but I am done. But I just need time.
Yeah. I don't think that she understands that, like, because there's a couple times in this episode where people are saying to her, well, I guess this means that you're entertaining. I never said I was entertaining. I said I was confused. I'm like, but you don't understand that when you have been on a path with one person and someone comes in and suddenly says to you, I'm interested in you, the fact that you are now confused instead of still focused on the person that you were with means you're entertaining it.
Or
like, whether you said it or not,
or thinking about or questioning, all of that is entertaining the idea.
Someone needs to get her.
Otherwise, what would happen? You would shut it down, which is what Callum said. And then Georgia decided to take offense to her saying that he should have shut it down. This might have been later, but we could talk about it.
I think so. It's a bit later.
But like, if you shut something down, that means that you are focused on one person.
Exactly.
If you are not focused on just that one person and somebody does a grand gesture, that, you know, we have history, we have a deep history,
Sorry, what does she mean by deep history? Because is she just talking about games and like the 1 or 2 weeks afterwards? Because what do you mean deep history?
I'm thinking like that's gonna be
like, I'm very confused. Like when were they dating? Because she said she cut off Tom for Toby. And I know that her and Tom met probably in the summer after season 10 because they all went on some brand trip to like Ibiza or something like that. So that was probably end of August. Then when did games start? September, October, or something like that?
Games started, I think it started in September.
September, exactly. So you were with Tom for maybe a week in August. Then you cut things off for Toby in September. It is now January. What deep history are you talking about?
I'm thinking some sort of deep penetration. That's all I'm thinking. I just hear deep, and I'm just like deep history. I'm like, how deep? Like,
I mean, it must be pretty deep.
That's what I'm thinking. You can't be like that invested unless it was good.
Exactly. Because like it seemed to me that their relationship didn't really take off because both of them were saying when they came into this season, if it would have happened on the outside, it would have happened on the outside. And now suddenly it's deep history. Okay.
And can you just say like how much of a hypocrite Georgia is with how she was treating Sally for the fact that she was kind of with Toby for like a second. Toby did not show her any feelings whatsoever. And she was actually entertaining Al in the beginning when they were both still open. And Georgia was so super vexed with Georgia. With the Sally for the fact
what? This might be her karma. This might be her karma for the game's finale. Because the way that she came out and was talking like targeting Sally in the most unhinged way out of nowhere behind a guy that Sally and Toby weren't even together and he was gone. What was she supposed to do? Because Georgia, if it was you, you would have been on to the next.
Yeah, I think she's jealous that like that Sally got maybe Georgia tried something with Al and Al is like, nah.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know what? Like, I'm sure that's probably what it is.
You know, the fact that she got her name wrong. Remember when she
kept calling her Kelly and then she said, no, I said Sally. No, you didn't. We heard you.
Like, we heard you. It's on camera. Wow, and she's done
really
it a few times on different shows where she's like, did I talk about this with you? Remember Shaq from last winter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she couldn't say his name. She's like, what's his name? Zach.
She couldn't say Shaq?
She couldn't. She's like,
has she ever heard of Shaquille O'Neal? Like,
but it's giving like when Molly couldn't remember how to say Yawande's name, and so she wanted to name it. So like, and it's just giving slight microaggressions here. So it's curious to me, her and Toby's situation, because I'm not sure how she is with other backgrounds.
That's so disgusting.
A little question mark. Just a little question mark.
I really don't like her.
It's just getting worse and worse every single episode.
It really is. It really is. Oh, I can't wait for her to be exposed.
when she was like, I had nothing to do with this. I would never do that to you.
Yeah, I was like, okay, the lady doth protest too much. Like, she's doing so much. Like, I just don't understand how she doesn't realize that the more that she, screams and cries and does this whole defensive kind of like tantrum, it's calling more attention to herself.
Well, she's still only 25.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I don't care that Georgia is more into Toby or what. She's just lying to Callum and then gaslighting him. And if she wants to be with Toby, be with Toby. Like, I don't give a shit.
Exactly. And that is my concern with her about everything and the way that she moves. Like, she's going to Tom saying like, oh, I still fancy you, and then turning around and then going to Callum in the hideaway saying there's nobody I wanted to be here other than you. That's
and then
lie.
telling other people that she doesn't find him sexually attractive. She doesn't want to sleep with him.
But then she was just like, when he calls her out on it, he was like, oh no, it was at that point. You didn't say at that point. There was no caveat. You said you don't want to sleep with him.
Exactly. So it's fine that if she doesn't find him attractive, and it's probably because he doesn't do these toxic, drastic, gestures.
Exactly.
Which is fine. Just let the man go. Let him be free of you. Because
exactly.
he's on the show where he's supposed to be coupled up with someone and be exploring a relationship with them. Like, let him go and be with somebody else. Then if you're not interested in him, it's fine. He's fine. He's good. Let him go.
Yeah.
So Arabelle and Toby do have a conversation, and I feel bad because like she looked gorgeous at the beginning of the recoupling, and she just cried off every single ounce of makeup that she had on when she's had this conversation.
I felt bad for her.
It's like, what the F do you want? And like he can never answers that. And he's like, now you're trying to rip apart Georgia and Callum. And it's like, he's like, no, I'm not trying to do that. And she's just like, this is just such immature bullshit.
Yeah, she really ate him up.
She did. And then he starts getting his back up against the wall a little bit and being like, well, like, I had to do what I had to do. Like, I had to say what I want. I had to do what I wanted to do. And like, I had to make a show a gesture. And he did that sorry ever come out of his mouth?
And no, I don't think so. I really don't think so. And I don't understand why he doesn't know how to speak to people, because you're right. You have to do what you have to do. Follow your heart, but you don't have to be such a dick about it. Like, you could have just been like, I'm so sorry. That was messed up. I shouldn't have blindsided you like this at the fire pit. I should have had a conversation with you beforehand. You're absolutely right. I hold my hands up. But instead, he's just Toby being like, I gotta do what I gotta do in it.
Then another Georgia that does not know how to be honest.
Girl.
With Anton. She's like, you're always there for me, Anton. And like they're holding hands facing each other. And I'm just like I feel like her eyes are glazed over because like she just does not want to like connect at all because she's not interested in this man at all.
But you know what though? I kind of think that just because Anton has been so considerate and mature and just like he hasn't, gotten his back up every time she like leaves him and whatever else. And now that Casey has come in and revealed that the reason why they didn't work out is because of her spiritual side, the fact that Anton has given her this great speech, now I think suddenly she actually really does like see it for him. If I was Anton, I wouldn't entertain it, but like I genuinely
like my spiritual side.
She's like, unlike Casey.
I'm obviously into that. I just don't think that any of those people are going to be on that kind of level to be entertaining mediumship and meditation, and it's just not the guys in that villa, including Anton. Like, I think that he'll listen to her and he won't ostracize her for what she's doing. But I feel like Anton is just kind of using it now as his opportunity to get in with Georgia. It's just
he might be, but I honestly don't know. I don't have a real.
I'm eternally grateful for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's too much.
Yeah.
At least I want to move in the right direction. It's like I feel like she's just been battered down and she's just like allowing this to happen. And I don't think she's into it. I don't.
I mean, I think she's into it for now.
I don't think that she sees herself making out with that guy.
Well, let's see. Let's see what this next few episodes has. Because I have a feeling that just because the heartbreak of Casey is so recent, that she might allow herself to lead Anton on a little bit just to make herself feel good.
Asa says she just wanted, this is Georgia, just wanted a little 24 hours to think about it. But that's just entertaining it, though.
That's entertaining it. That's entertaining it.
Determined story was serious versus staying with the safe option Callum. Absolutely.
That still is entertaining it.
All she has to say is like, I was not expecting this. Like, I do have a deep history with Toby, and I am working something towards you, Callum, but I put Toby out of my mind. But it's brought him back into my thoughts again. And I just need some time to think about it and have conversations with both of you to see where I really want to go.
Exactly.
And then Callum will have the opportunity to say, like, okay, I don't want to wait around while you decide. So that's your decision. You can still stay thinking about it, but I'm not part of your decision making. Just
exactly.
Just give them the opportunity to choose to not want to be part of whatever you're thinking about.
Because the thing that Georgia keeps forgetting is that, because she keeps saying like, oh, you're saying that my feelings aren't valid. You're saying this and that. It's like she's so focused on her feelings that she forgets that Callum's allowed to have his own feelings as well. Like, you can be confused, but I can also not want to be a part of this.
Exactly. It's like when, like, you can be open, Toby, but I don't have to be involved in your open journey. Like,
exactly.
I can say, like, be open, but I'm not part of your open journey.
Because like, when people call her out on her having her own feelings and her saying that she should be entitled to her own feelings, she doesn't have that same respect for other people. Like, it's not just a one-way street. If you want people to respect your feelings, you have to respect theirs, and sometimes be happy with the fact that it might not work out the way that you want it to.
I agree with you here, Azza. Anton is picking me persona 5.
100%.
He's just going like, I'm the best guy. I'm so nice. I'm so considerate. I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm blah, 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 blah. Like, and that's pick me to me.
No, yeah, because you let Georgia disrespect you. I don't know how many times, keep going, disappearing, talking to all these different guys, and then come crying to you. Like, that's pick me.
Guy. Oh,
exactly.
I'm sorry, Anton. I didn't like, I was liking Anton, and then I kind of went off him when he didn't fight at all for Kaz to stay. I was just kind of like, oh, wait, she's been like, she rode hard for you to stay. And like, you were easily wanted Hannah and Georgia to stay before Kaz. And I was like,
which is crazy to me.
Oh, crazy. I wanted Anton to go, and I wanted Tyler to stay, to be fair.
Ooh, Tyler, no.
I'd rather Tyler stay than Anton.
No, every time I see Tyler, I just picture those plaid pants.
You don't like the pants. It's just pants.
No, it's really offensive to my eyeballs. Like, even look at this. My mind's eye is offended.
Josh and Sophie chat, and he says that he's going to say that he's all in with Sophie to Joanna, and that his head will not be turning. Anyone who says their head will not be turning, his head will turn. That's just 100%.
Yeah, I don't think that he expected Sophie to share that information with Joanna the next day, but well, we'll see.
So Kaz and Casey do talk about sleeping in the same bed. Now, what do you feel about the Kaz and Casey recoupling? A lot of people think that he may be fetishizing her. I personally thought their first conversation when they're talking about the ass busk thing, old butt, that was slightly fetishy. But then when they're having I thought it was a funny conversation about sucking the venom out of his balls or whatever. I thought that was funny personally.
Yeah, I thought it was.
You thought it too? Yeah. But
I thought it was funny. And also I understand where it came from, because like there is a really popular British podcast called Shits and Gigs where like that was a topic of conversation, and it was two guys talking about it. And like, so it's like I guess it's like a conversation that's happening in UK culture at the moment. So I immediately related it to that and not to him like trying to be a creep. And I feel like if he's like knows anything about what's happening in podcasting at the moment, like I'm sure he's probably heard that. So that's where my mind took it. And I like their little flirtiness. I also like how when they talk, he touches her. No one else has ever been like affectionate with her or like showing any interest in that way. But at the same time, I'm not sure if I'm really buying it.
Fair, but I haven't seen him with I think her name was Cynthia on his original season, which was a Black woman. So he has had a relationship at least on one of these shows with a Black woman.
Yeah.
So it shows at least he's willing to have a relationship on the show, and so I'm happy that she has someone that's at least showing some interest in her.
Exactly. That's what I am. I'm just happy that she's getting some affection. She's getting some interest. I mean, and every single look that she has come out with since he has arrived has just been eating the girls up. Like that purple, like crochet number. I was Googling immediately, be like, where can I find this?
Oh my God. Kim Kardashian used to have this app where you put in a photo of the outfit and then it will show you all the different like retailers that sold it or something similar, but like it doesn't work anymore. I was like, it was a good app.
Amazing.
Yes, I agree, Kay, here that he probably is fetishizing her, but he's her only real option at the moment. And like I don't think she minds it.
Exactly. I think that she just wants some attention, and fair enough. After how many weeks of sitting in here in friendship couples, everyone else like it might be for show. You might be fetishizing me, but sometimes you just need a little bit of confidence boost, and then you know
like
what?
This is way less offensive, in my opinion, than Georgia entertaining Anton.
Exactly, and he hasn't said anything egregious yet. So
like, I'm not interested in Toby or in Casey. He's definitely not the look for me. I think it's hilarious that people say that he looks like Lord Farquaad.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. If she's happy, I'm happy. Exactly. They're both Scorpios, I believe. So
like, passionate.
That kind of a sexual way. They'll get each other in that way. So
you know what? Now I'm intrigued. Now I'm like both Scorpios.
Very fun. Kay's with me here. I'm preferring voting Timer over Pick Me Anton for sure. Yeah, exactly. It's nice to see Kaz get to flirt and banter with someone that's not just a friendship.
Exactly.
I do agree though. Kaz and Casey are just
let's see. That's how I'm feeling. I'm not fully buying it. I'm just like, I will watch this space.
We're not buying. I'm not like shipping, like starting being like, oh my God, like what would their name be? Kazi?
Kaz? Is that Kazi?
Yeah, Kazi.
Kazi.
With a K. Like I'm not gonna be shipping them Kazi, but like I'm happy that she's getting some attention and she gets to flirt. Sometimes you just want to flirt or like make out with somebody every once in a while. Like
exactly.
Like,
and that's what I want for her. I just want her to have a little flirty banter, a little makeout. This doesn't need to be forever. Like she's just been sitting around being the agony aunt for everybody in friendship couples. Like she needs to have a little bit of flirtation.
So Joanna and Chris have a conversation and she tells him, which I was surprised by, that she's still going to chat with Josh. Even though he's like really excited to get to know her, she says she's excited to get to know him. And I get it. You're being open still. You're entertaining all your options, but I feel like it was a little bit hurtful to choose Chris and then being like, I know I chose you, but like, I want to see if there's still a chance with me and Josh.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for him because you could tell he really, really likes her. And he was so excited to be chosen that he was like blinders on, like we're going straight into this. But to that point, I think that's why she was like, I think she can pick up on that energy. She can already tell that he's a little bit more into her. And so she wants to kind of slow things down and to figure out if she's on the same level. And to do that, she needs to kind of insert a Josh wrench, which is what I think she was trying to do.
And I guess to a certain extent, having the guy be on their toes a little bit, like there's no other options that Chris is entertaining at the moment. So she kind of has free reign to do whatever she wants right now. So I guess she's like, well, let me just go and see what's happening over here with Josh because Chris is going to be here no matter what.
Yeah.
Georgia Steele and Toby talk and they're laughing. Like she's like, I just didn't expect that, Toby. Oh,
And like every time she comes on my screen, I'm annoyed. Like I was just rolling my eyes. Like my eyes were rolling into my soul. It's like I'm just so nervous when I laugh when I'm shy. Shut up.
Like, look at the man. You're not scared of him. That's like
Exactly.
why are you giggling and laughing and looking? Why can't you look at me, Georgia? And it's like, 'cause I'm shy.
Okay. Where was that shyness when you were trying to victimize yourself in front of Molly, in front of everybody? Like, come on.
Well, do you know what? Toby he just put himself out there. And she feels scared. And she has to think about it. I'm just like, I'm so over. I mean, I just need them both to be torn down. I need this PDA Awards to be carnage.
I cannot wait for tonight's episode. Have you seen the first look already?
Yes. Because like I was upset because I saw on their Instagram like a few questions that they're asking, and like sometimes Georgia wasn't even an option for like the most thing, and I was like, okay, so these are gonna suck. But then when I saw the first look, and they're like they showed
and Callum eating her up. Oh. And I saw, what did he say? When he said, he's like, oh, I thought you were a loyal babe. And then Molly's little face being like, that's my ex.
When he said the proof is in the pudding, Yorkshire pudding.
And I was like, boom! And I was like, now he's got bars. I love this. I love Callum's villain arc. I love it. It's not even a villain arc. It's just like he's holding her accountable as she deserves to be.
I think I'm gonna start a reality TV famous lines or best lines like t-shirt line.
Oh, yeah.
No, like actually, because like that, like the proof is in the pudding, Yorkshire pudding. That it is a bar, and like I need that on a shirt. Yeah. And like if somebody can recognize where it's from, like I think that's really cool.
Yes,
there's been so many good things that have been happening lately. Like on the Traders, Phaedra says so many good lines, and I'm like, I just need these.
Phaedra is always good for a one-liner.
So I think that I'm gonna start accruing different like liners and just start a t-shirt line.
I mean,
I like Etsy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. There's so many, especially even from Love Island. There's so many. Like, what's the iconic one when Callum came back with Molly after Casa Amor, and then Shauna was like, "Congrats, hon."
I don't remember that, but like, yeah, it's good. Would you think that I should put like who said it? Like, you know what I mean? Like their name or just the line.
No, I think it's better to like just have the quote, because if you know, you know, you know.
Oh, I love Yorkshire pudding. Oh my god, the first look was eating. We know tonight's episode will be juicy. I'm like so excited about.
I can't wait. Like, I can't wait.
Just carnage. So excited. So they're all getting ready for bed. Callum just basically thinks that G could be persuaded to go with Toby. So like I think he knows that like Georgia isn't a real option, but he's kind of still entertaining it. And then so Callum is in bed with Arabella, right? Yeah. And so they're looking over at Georgia and Toby in bed, and Arabella's like, they're making faces at each other. And they're looking at each other, and then Toby hugs Georgia, and she's like, they're seeing them, and like they're facing each other. It's like they're so disrespectful.
Absolutely, because Arabella made a very good point. She was like, if it was me and I was genuine in the couple with another person, I would have slept outside, because that's what they do on this show. Like, we all know how it goes. Like, you know, you don't have to sleep in the bed with someone just because they chose you. Like, even Anton, when him and Georgia had a fight, he went and slept outside. Like, she didn't need to get into that bed all giggly and like smirking at him.
But like, so Arabella was still kind of like looking over and like getting irate over them, and Callum's like, yeah, I can't be bothered. He just could not be bothered. He's so childish to him, I think. Yeah, childish. So in the morning, Georgia Harrison asked everybody how was their night's sleep. Toby and somebody are talking. How was your chat with Arabella? Do you know who he was talking to? I didn't write their name down.
Toby, probably talking to Chris. It's the only person that talks to him.
Yeah, probably Chris. Hold on, Asa it just wants me to be bad sometimes. Asa said they're coupled up. Toby and Georgia trying to make things work. You sleep outside when you don't like who's in the bed.
No, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that point. But Georgia's the one talking about she's baffled, like, I didn't know where this came from. So clearly you do like this man.
Exactly. And you just be like, hey, Callum, like, I'm entertaining Toby.
Because everyone else is confused because you're telling me you're baffled. You're saying you don't know where this came from, but now you're giggling, getting into bed with him. Obviously, you like him.
Yeah, which is fine. You can like whoever you want to like.
Just be honest.
You don't have to gaslight. Like who you like, not gaslight.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously Arabella in the morning is still pissed. Like she really got done dirty. And then like they're just kind of throwing it in their face that like they're, you know, so comfortable with each other because they have such a deep history, you know?
Okay.
Georgia, Kaz, and Sophie are talking, and she feels like Callum is retreating. Is that what I wrote?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't even look at me. Yeah, because like he's a bitch.
Exactly. Because I thought that things were going well. I thought that we were like on a path towards closing things off. And then now this weird little speech from Toby has apparently shaken our entire foundation. And if you were really about me, you would have been like, thanks, but I'm actually focusing on Callum. Thank you for finally stepping up, but I'm not interested. And the fact that
wouldn't that be a nice grand gesture for Callum?
Exactly. She thinks she's the only one. Like, she keeps forgetting. That's the thing. He said that. She keeps forgetting his feelings. He has feelings as well. She's so focused on, well, he did this for me. But like, okay, but what about me? I'm still sitting here thinking that everything was fine. Apparently not.
Well, he wasn't thinking everything's fine, but she keeps on telling them everything is fine and they're
exactly.
good. And that they're going to go to the hideaway and that she's really like feeling him right now. And like anything that negative that was said about it was before they actually got to this point in their relationship. Mm-hmm. That's all he's been hearing from you, reassuring him when you have other thoughts.
Exactly. Even immediately after the recoupling, she went up to him and was like, oh, like, I'm baffled. I don't, and he asked her, did you guys have a conversation? Did you talk about this? And she said no, but she also like conveniently omitted the fact that she had earlier that same day said to him that she will always have a place for him in her heart.
As so saying, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
If Callum cared, he would give her 24 hours space to breathe. He could cut it off because it was never serious. It was never serious. And he's just not interested anymore. This gave him the ick. It's gross. It's annoying. It's bullshit. It's irritating.
But the thing is he did give her 24 hours to breathe. He did. They had that initial conversation. They went to bed and he expressed his feelings, saying, I don't feel like the way that she's moving shows that she actually gives a shit about me. Then 24 hours later, which we'll get to, they go to the fire pit and have that conversation, and he expresses his feelings to her and she starts gaslighting him. And in that moment and in that conversation, it becomes clear that like, I don't need to have space for you in my life because the way you're disrespecting.
You don't have any space for me and like your thoughts or like how you want to move. And like the fact that she's saying that he's retreating, he's not even looking at her, I would say that's giving her space.
Exactly. Retreating because his feelings are hurt. What is he supposed to do? Just sit there while you have a conversation with someone else in your face? Like, of course he's going to retreat. It doesn't mean that it's over. It just means that he needs to process his feelings somewhere else.
And that like he's just like not interested in like being like Anton. Right? Exactly. Like that's not his vibe. It's to be like
exactly. Anton. I'm not just gonna sit here and pretend like everything is happy families. You hurt my feelings.
As it says, this was all in one night. The recoupling was at night.
Girl. Okay, sure.
So Callum handled this all wrong, and Toby and Georgia handled all this correctly.
I mean, honestly, Asa's perspectives blow my mind every time.
It has to just be a trolling perspective, right? It can't. In my mind, it can't be real, and so that's why I entertain it as like a This is impossible to
No,
be
I mean,
super sensitive.
but you know what though? It really does show how people can think so differently, because to me, I feel like a lot of these insights are wild and would never even cross my mind. But that also goes to explain Toby and George's behavior, because I'm looking at them like, how could you ever move like that? And maybe this is why.
Well, at least you don't mind us thinking that this is why. Yeah, I agree with this. Okay, like troublesome Toby and galling Georgia made sure the season didn't die down after Messy Mitch was evicted. I mean, yeah, like I did mention that, like, yes, this is entertaining. It's got us talking, like, got us angry, got us feeling something, got people conversing back and forth in comments and stuff like that. Twitter's popping. So yes, it did what it was going to do. But if I'm looking at it as someone that's recapping and looking at the dynamics of these people on this show, like, I don't think that they're been very kind to their friends and people that
No,
they have a relationship with.
I mean, and also it's like, this is the most drama that Allstars has been giving us, honestly. Like, it's they're still not even touching games. They're not anywhere near games.
Kay's also saying Georgia was being wildly immature. She definitely tries to gaslight and deflect when she's arguing and is in the wrong. Oh my God.
Absolutely. So you can tell that she's always gets her way, because the second that she's challenged, her response is, how could you say that about me? And it's like, well, because that's how you're behaving.
Yeah, it's like, that's my read. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's how I see it. Sorry, girl. Josh and Tom do have a chat. He's saying nothing's really going to churn his head. So she's telling this to Tom. And I wrote, sure, Josh. So I don't buy Josh, but
I mean, I think he's going on this what is this campaign, this press tour announcing his love for Sophie, because he doesn't want to look like a mug. He doesn't want to look like he was the one that didn't get chosen. He wants to make it look like, oh no, this is my decision and 100%. We're all good.
So Azir is saying that someone said Arabella calling Toba a boy and Callum calling them kids is interesting, considering they're both hooking up with them. And still, to be honest, it's more of a function of Arabella and Callum.
I agree with that, because how are you 30-something years old dating a 24-year-old, like, and you're surprised by their immature behavior?
Absolutely. Like Arabella, we were saying that even when they were like making out, and you're just like, why are you bothering with Toby? He's so, like, almost a decade younger than you. Like, that's too much. At that age, it's too much. With Callum, though, they're a little bit closer in age, and Georgia has been lying to him. And so, like, you know, everybody's saying how loyal she is and she's the realest person when they're doing the Snog, Marry, Pie, and like everyone to propose to her. So like he's really gotten a different version of who she is. Like he's 28?
Yeah, I think so.
28 and 25, that's actually a decent
it's not that big of a gap, right? And also the way that she is performing maturity with the bangs. And just like the way that she's like carrying herself and talking about wanting to settle down, and I own a home and I'm this and I'm that. Like, she's really doing a big show to show that, like, I'm not like these other little girls. And then the little girl behavior comes out.
Yeah. Tantrums, like kicking and screaming, pouting, sulking. Yeah. So I don't know if it's exactly the same. I think that Callum was only going off of how Georgia was treating him, and then he's seeing her true colors now, and he doesn't really want to entertain it anymore. And so she thinks that him not wanting to entertain it anymore is like a reflection on her. Well, it is, but like that, like he's telling her that she's doing something wrong. It's like, well, you can do whatever you want, but I don't have to be there for it.
Exactly.
And I think that that's actually mature and a reflection on Callum, what he's willing to put up with. So. Yeah, Josh does smell the finale. He's just like, yeah. But
he's like, well, I'm here. I might as well get a check.
But he's gonna get exposed because we do see Sophie popping off as well.
Wait, but what has he done that he's gonna be exposed about? Just talking to Joanna?
Well, maybe saying that well, he said that he wanted to be with Joanna and that he was open, and like, but he was also saying to Sophie that he wants to wife her up, but then he won't like say it in front of people. So maybe there's more conversation that we haven't seen.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see what that is going to be all about.
Me too. I got a text, so it's gonna be some cocktails and convos. The girls go off. I thought there was gonna be some sort of like
I thought we were getting a bombshell, something. Yeah.
Something. But literally the girls go and chat.
Instead, we got group therapy.
Right? And it's just like talking about like their friendships outside of the villa is ruined, and everybody was just talking about their situation, and nothing really new was learned, but it was just kind of like,
except for that we learned that Georgia is really not a girl's girl.
Really?
Because she's sitting there saying, oh, I rate Toby for picking me, and and then she starts defending him, and every single one of their faces was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like you didn't shut it down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was that part. That's when he said that about the Callum part, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's when Arabella shared that. And then she was just like, oh, but I rate him for doing that. Like, that's really hard. Like,
it's really hard, you know, like standing up there in front of everybody and like actually having to confess that he can't live without me. Like, he's like such a, it's such a fucking hard.
I can't.
I can't believe him now that he's done such a thing for me. It's so stupid.
Oh my God. And all those girls, you could see in that conversation, every single one of their faces, they're all turning on her.
We have a deep connection. I've never said I was entertaining it. Like, well, but you said that you're feeling it. Like,
yeah, you're confused, and that's what confused means.
So, and the boys are still in the villa, and Toby says that he knows all the ramifications of his actions. Does he? Does he?
No.
But then Callum's like, I'm not gonna be a fallback option, which is also fair for him. Like they didn't say that they're close, but she kind of made it clear that they were not entertaining other people. Yeah. And now that it's changed, he doesn't want to be the backup after she entertains Toby.
Yeah. I think that if Callum is completely justified in how he's feeling, because he's been going off of everything that she has been saying and how she's been acting, and all of the ways that she's been acting forward facing towards him have been showing him that he's the only one that she's interested in, because he hasn't seen her lying and scheming with Tom. He hasn't seen her lying or talking with Toby. So if he's based just off of their interactions, of course he feels blindsided, and of course he's not going to be like, oh, let me just wait here while you entertain some guy that you told me weeks ago was done.
Yeah, done. I missed the conversation, and then I didn't go back to watch it, so something happened there. But then the girls come back to the villa. Is there anything that I might have missed that you can remember?
Well, so what happened there was that so the boys all start clocking that there's the reason that Georgia or that Toby probably would have done that is because they think that Georgia is moving crazy. And so they are starting to realize that, like, you know, Toby's an idiot, but he's not doing this based on nothing. And I think Tom said something about her flirting with him. And then they all start to realize, I'm like, oh, this isn't fully on Toby. Like, Georgia is, you know, behaving in a way that has made him feel like this is an option. And so that's when they were all like, now maybe she has something to do with this.
So then the girls come back and she's like, fire pit. I'm like, oh my God. And then they go to the fire pit and nothing happened there.
And it's so awkward because none of them want to talk to each other. Toby and Chris were up there having their spa day.
Oh, Toby didn't want to
come down like after everyone else, like everyone just staring at them. They could feel that tension. You could feel, oh my God, it was so awkward.
Yeah, and so they said that we had a good chat, okay, and that was it. I'm like,
I think the thing that she really wanted to drive home was like, nobody's mad at me, so you guys don't have any legs to stand on because none of the girls are mad at me.
That woman. So they're all getting ready for the night. Who said you're not a nasty person? Is that someone to Toby?
Oh, I think it might have been Kaz to Toby.
Okay. Okay, let me just remember. It's a bit confusing It's a bit confusing. Annoyed her. Oh, okay, so no, it's Callum and Georgia talking. I think
Okay.
that Callum says this to Georgia. He says it's a bit confusing, but she says it's a bit confusing, and she was annoyed that she heard that Callum had said that if he was interested in him, she would have cut it off with Toby right away. And so now she's like, I've known him a week. I've known him a week. Oh, maybe he wasn't talking to her. He's talking about.
Yeah, no, it was Toby. It was Toby and Georgia talking in the kitchen, and that's when she's like, "I'm not married to him." And I was like,
married. I've known him for a week. We're not married.
It's like suddenly it's only been a week, but when it was you and Toby.
With our past.
Yeah.
Like, I worry in like Romeo and Juliet. Like, you know what happens to Romeo and Juliet? They both die at the end, okay?
Like, exactly. I don't.
They're not these star-crossed lovers. Like, I can't deal with like. I don't know what this romance that they think that they're having, that they've been torn apart and they've been kept away from each other. And he had to make this grand gesture.
I really hope that they expose this particular conversation, because what she said to Toby about Cal was so disrespectful, because she kept calling him a safe option. Like with you, Toby, it feels like a risk. Like, I know, like, I'm going to have to really dive in and like take a leap of faith with my heart. Whereas with Callum, I wouldn't have to do that. Like, okay, sure.
We got team history. Georgia still after dating Toby for a week on Love Island Games.
Exactly.
And like, they were together just like as a default, kind of.
Maybe it was when they were in that hotel holding room afterwards.
Okay, maybe like when they were waiting to come back to like roast everybody
for the finale. And maybe that's why she had so much energy for Sally, because she was just in the hotel with Toby getting livid, hyping him up, being like, yeah, that's crazy. She shouldn't have done that.
She's like, she's not a girl's girl. I'm a girl's girl.
Not like me. Well, you know what? She said it at the very beginning of the season in her intro video. Loyal babe is over. And here we're seeing it. It's been over.
Over. How can we be with our past? These lines, though, like, are just so funny. Like,
I cannot wait for her to be exposed. Expose her.
I just like, I don't know if I can hear or listen to her try to get out of it, though. It's just like,
it's gonna be so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Anton and Georgia have a conversation, and she's like, you tick all the right boxes. And she's like, yeah, I guess I like you a little bit. You fancy me a little bit more? It's like, no, Anton, she's it's like, is it what, Stockholm syndrome? Is that like you start
exactly, you fall for your kidnapper. Exactly. Yeah. He's like, finally, she loves me.
Yeah, it's kind of like she's stuck in there with him in a couple, and she's just like finally giving in. She can't fight it anymore. Not in a good way.
I think that, I don't think that she truly likes him, but I think that she is deluding herself into thinking that, just because she's coming off the back of that hurt with Casey and the specific like issue that they had. He said that her spiritual side freaked him out, and then Anton gave her that beautiful speech. So I think that that's the exact validation that she needed at that moment.
Did you shed a tear in that speech?
No, I didn't. Because I don't even think that he really meant it. Like, because he said right after, when she came to couple up with him, he said, you needed that. So it felt like he was giving her the words that she knew that she needed to hear, but not the words that were coming from his heart.
That's why he's not a real person. And that's why I haven't been able to get behind him. Is that like, he thinks by saying all the pick me, but like saying all the things that he thinks everybody wants him to say. He's like, always like, I'd always do all the right things. And it's like, it's not doing all the right things. It's like being yourself and authentic and vulnerable and genuine.
And that's what's missing.
You're trying too hard to be what they want you to be, and you're not yourself. It's just a vapid, like, unattractive person, because you're not.
That inauthenticity is what people pick up on, right? It's like and he doesn't understand what's not hitting. It's like, people are picking up on the fact that you're not being genuine, and they might not know specifically what it is, but that's what it is.
KB's like, I'm wearing you down, baby.
Yeah. Actually, and he's so psyched. He's like, finally, playing the long game has worked. I don't know. Can you imagine they actually get together and their kids are like, Mom, Dad, how did you get together? And they show them this season, and then their kids are like, so you let her disrespect you for a whole summer?
I don't even see, like, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Anton's fake. Yeah, we agree on something. I was like, yay!
Finally.
I know Coach Georgia got his granddad. She ran and cried to Anton and about it. And so at the recoupling, the pick me said, you can talk all about my ancestors any day, probably.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. Kay's also saying Anton said he can make the square fit into that circle. Yeah, y'all just don't see the vision.
I mean, that's not even how geometry works. Like, yeah. There's no way the square is gonna fit into the. You have to cut some of the edges off, so someone is losing.
Yeah, you're not going to be your full expression of yourself if you try to force yourself into the wrong shape.
Exactly.
So this is the fight that we've been talking about a little bit. Callum and Georgia still talking, and after he spilled his heart again with her lines, like,
oh my God,
like he spilled. So I'm in the wrong. Like, guess you're in the wrong.
Yes, yeah, but also he didn't even say that. Like the way that she jumps out the window with these conclusions, he said, "I feel like you are prioritizing his feelings over mine and Arabelle. So I'm in the wrong." No, I didn't say that. I just said what I said. And you're
making me feel invalid for my feelings.
Sorry? I'm not making you feel any kind of way. That's how you feel, bitch. Like,
it's like, if I'm getting to know someone, like, oh my God. No, that's what he said, I think.
He said if I'm getting to know someone, I'm getting to know them. He's like the same way that him and Molly, they were together for 3.5 years. We've seen them have one argument, and the rest has been happy families. Georgia has had more arguments in this however many weeks with all of these men than the actual couple.
And so she's like, if it's closed, it's closed. Because she's like, well, we are closed. Well, if it's closed, it's closed. And she's like, well, and he's like, well, if you want to get to know him, do it. And she's like, I'm confused. And he's like, I'm not waiting around for you. And he walks off. He's like, so bizarre. I love that he's just like, what's this thing, this person? That was the end of the episode, and then we got a little prelude to the Allstars PDA Awards. Girl.
Oh, I can't wait. Expose her. Expose her.
Expose her. Expose her.
It's time.
Oh my goodness. Please choose good clips. Like, please. I need them all.
I'm looking forward to it.
All exposed. Well, that is it for this episode. Do you have anything else you want to share that we didn't talk about?
No, that is it. But I'm looking forward to reconnecting to talk about tonight's episode because it's going to be a juicy one.
So do you want to do it? Are you available tomorrow evening after the episode?
I think I should be. Let me just double check my calendar, but I think tomorrow should be good.
Okay, so likely we'll go live tomorrow, right after tomorrow's episode. So we'll do 2 episodes recapping, starting with the PDA Awards. Guys, I'm so excited. Like, we need this. This is like the buildup that we're having of frustration with these liars. Liars. Yeah. What does Davide say?
Oh, what did he say? No, I can't think. You're an actress and a liar.
You're an actress and a liar. And he says, you're faker than a Louis Vuitton from China. Faker than a Louis Vuitton from China. Okay, can't wait to talk about it tomorrow. Guys, I'll see you guys in the chat again. Love you. Yeah, faker than a Louis Vuitton from China. I'm loving it. So please subscribe to the channel, like this video, Tell us what you're most excited to see exposed tonight for the PDA Awards. Give it all.
Georgia. I want to see Georgia get taken down.
Down.
Yeah.
I can't wait, guys. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.